So long before I was taking pictures and collecting cameras, thrifting has always been a part of my life, whether I liked it or not. Thrift stores were very abundant in the area that I live in, and it's just more of a cool pastime for me, my mom, and my sister to just go to the thrift store. So what I'm trying to say is, yeah, I was on it before all the hype. Today's camera that we're talking about is a kind of a camera that hits close to home, really. So I think it's pretty ironic that I end up finding a camera like this. So yes, the title of the video is correct. This is the Olympus SZ-15, a 16 megapixel CCD camera that I thrifted for $10. Yes, that is $10. So the story goes basically, like I said, just like a random pastime whenever we're bored, me and my family, or like specifically me and my mom and probably my sister, just go to thrift stores and just kind of hit them up and just see what we can find and stuff like that. And of course, while I'm at the thrift store, you know, I wander around. I just go walk around and enjoy the store. And I found this Olympus in a basket under a open box with this Canon camcorder that I have right here. So I don't know if they were trying to sell it as a bundle, but I got super lucky that day because the ladies who were working there, the cash register, spoke absolutely no English, only Spanish, and both of these cameras had no price tags on them. I basically communicated them with the best I could in the hopes that they can understand me, and what got rang up was $20. So I paid it, of course, and I just went on my way. And then it wasn't, and I knew absolutely nothing about this camera. I didn't even know if it worked. There was no battery in it, and of course, as you could see, I'm sure I'll do a close-up. The upper ring on the lens is actually missing, and well, now I know. Come to find out that that's a pretty common thing that happens with these Olympus digicams. Is the rings kind of come undone and stuff like that because they're not placed the most secure. So other than that, there was absolutely nothing wrong with the camera. Once I got home and I put the batteries in, luckily they were batteries that I already had. These batteries take the Li-50B, which is like the more rounder style for Olympus cameras. Put the battery in and it just turned on, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with this camera. When I finally decided to search up the price, because I wasn't expecting this camera to be over like $20 on eBay or something like that, because that's just kind of like the pricing of gears that I purchased. But I was absolutely stunned to see the price that these are at. The SZ-15 is floating around $100 to $150 on eBay, which before testing out the camera, I had absolutely no idea why a digital camera of this stature would be that expensive in today's market. And I kind of still don't understand it. It's something that I really don't understand. And because this camera does do a lot of cool things, but I don't know if it's worth $150. But this for me is like a camera that time truly has left behind. When there are cameras in a similar price range that do more certain things, or like just a full lens system camera, I feel like the main strong point this camera has, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, is the quality of the photos. I never thought I'd hear myself say that about a digicam from the early 2010s, but truly people don't really understand that anything below 20 megapixels or like 24 megapixels is completely fine and usable in a camera, especially 16 megapixels. 16 megapixels is a lot of quality in a camera. That's one thing that sticks out about this camera, is like when you're shooting it and you're looking through the screen, because it doesn't have a viewfinder, of course. I'm thinking that these photos are a lot crappier than they actually are, and then when I swap them over to my computer and actually look at them through my softwares, it's astonishing that those photos were taken from these cameras. And it's just very, very interesting that it kind of proves a point that a lower megapixel sensor isn't necessarily bad at all. And especially something like this, a CCD sensor camera, which is supposed to be a more slower camera compared to the CMOS sensor cameras. But really, I never really had a problem with speed. I feel like if you have this camera, speed shouldn't even be your main priority. I feel like this is a camera that's reason for purchasing has really stayed the same over the years, and that is a camera that you take for vacation or for your families and stuff like that. This camera is awesome, and I'm gonna cut to the segment now where I actually am out there and shooting and talking about this camera and stuff like that. So yeah. Yeah, like I said, the biggest thing for me is the photo quality. The build quality, while although it is plastic, it feels very, very nice. This camera is very, very nice to hold. It's very nice to feel. Now, I guess I could get into the negatives. I feel like this camera, but I feel like a lot of other digital cameras have something similar going on. This camera has turned itself on by itself in my pockets, and you know, the lens is not, this lens doesn't have like a block detective feature like some other digital cameras do, where if it feels resistance, it'll put itself back in. It'll just, this camera will just, you know, it'll open full extent in your pocket, and it could possibly damage the lens. But luckily that hasn't gotten to the point where it's damaged itself. So like I said, plastic body, but it feels nice. The only other, I guess, gripes I could talk about this camera is the menu system is slow. It's easy to understand, but yeah, I've had times where the menu system has either froze on me or been very, very laggy. And I've noticed that it kind of gets worse as the camera battery dies down, so that is something pretty interesting. Yeah, other than that, this video records in 720p. The recording isn't like the best, of course. Obviously you wouldn't expect the recording to be best out of a camera like this. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I can't believe I found this camera for the price that I did, and I think I'll hold on to this camera for a while and see what else it has to offer. But yeah, that is how I ended up with a $150 camera for $10. So if you like this video, if you'd like to see more cameras and more thrift finds, because I have a lot more that I haven't talked about, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe please. It helps me out a lot so I can keep making these videos and stuff like that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.